All right, so today we have a PlayStation 2. This one comes to us from a parts lot, so I actually don't know what's wrong with it right now. I'm going to take a wild guess, though, and I'm going to say that at least the door's stuck on this thing. It is ripped off here. Looks like somebody just took a screwdriver and just pried it open. So most likely they were having issues with the disk drive. Could just be the disk drive tray not opening. It could also be a laser or any of that kind of stuff. The other tip is obviously they've been into this thing. It's cut the security bit here, or the security tag here. So first things first, I'm going to power this on. Let's just test it, make sure we're getting video out of it and it's actually getting power. I'm kind of going over things. First thing you want to look for is the red light on the power itself. That's just telling us that it's getting power through the system. Go ahead and power it on. Sounds normal, so that's good news. Looks like it's booting up normally, so that means the video is probably fine. Controller here. I'm just gonna visually check the display here. Yeah, everything looks normal. There's no flickering, there's no issues with the video out, so that's good news. And let's go ahead and just try this disc door. Yep, that is completely stuck. Cool. I won't mess with it too much. We'll go ahead and power off. Let's go ahead and get started. Start by getting into it. It's always a gamble getting a console in that somebody's already previously been into because you don't know how they treated anything inside there. And if it's any indication that that door's ripped off, then there could be a lot of issues. But we won't know until we're in there. A spare piece of plastic. That's not good. It's probably from the disk drive. Like always, we'll pull it off real gently. We still got that ribbon cable attached right here, so we'll just set this to the side. Actually doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look like that's been tampered with. Yeah. Usually a good dead giveaway if somebody's really gotten into it and they don't know what they're doing. You'll see a lot of wear on the screws where they stripped them out from using the wrong size bit. Looks fine though. So let's get into the drive itself and then see where we're at. We could get lucky too. There could be a disc in here. Could be a super rare one. Ready? Oh! No disc. This old drive is feeling loose here. I'm trying to remember if it should normally feel that loose. I don't think it should. I think there's a screw missing right here. I have to look at another one. I'm pretty sure there's a screw missing right here. And yep, I see the problem right now. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. We'll get in here. It is cracked right here and it's jammed right at the bottom. So this whole door is gonna have to come off, which is really actually pretty simple. We'll just pop these screws right here. Slide this guy right off here. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty busted. Sorry if I didn't get a shot of that. It's just these two screws right here, right there. They just lined up right there. I just unscrewed them. The disk drive actually looks really dusty, but it actually doesn't look too caked up with grease or anything, so I think we'll be all right. I have a spare drive, so let's grab that. See, I'll set this one to the side and then I'll pop it back up. We'll work on the other drive and just get out what we need. All right, so here's my spare drive. And we're gonna take off this as well. Cool. And there's that. Yeah, there's black pieces coming off of this thing. All right, and before I put this on, I'm actually gonna go ahead and clean this up. So I'm gonna take a minute and just clean and get it going, and we should be good to go. All right, so I did an initial clean on it. So really what I do is I start with a paper towel, a little bit of Windex, and just go around trying to get most of the gunk up. And then I go in and do a little bit more finer cleaning with a few, I go in with a few Q-tips, clean out the rest with some 90% isopropyl. And then, so what we'll do now is just kind of do the final details on it. So we're obviously going to want to clean, well, when we do the initial cleaning, we'll clean all the gears, which I cleaned off here. We'll add some lithium grease to them. We don't have to go too much into them. And then we'll adjust this down, and then we'll obviously clean that laser last. And then we'll test everything out and just see if it's working. If not, then we'll adjust the laser there. One thing to keep in mind when you're cleaning these gears, you want to spin the laser this way and this way. You don't want to end up pushing it because you don't want to push it with your finger here. Too much pressure on this could break these little brackets that sit right underneath here. Once you snap this, then you're in trouble. You got to buy a new one, which I'm not sure if you can buy third-party ones or if you have to get another junk one to take it out of. So be really careful with that. Also, remember you're not touching that laser at all. And then you just saw me just air it, use a little bit of duster on it. You're obviously spraying just around here. You never want to spray directly on that laser. Anything to do with directly on that laser, you don't want to do unless you're actually cleaning it and only it. Which, speak of that, we'll actually go ahead and just clean the laser real quick. Usually I have 99, but this is 91. This one will work perfectly fine. Just put a little bit on the tip here. And we're gently adding it to the laser, and we're working in a light circle motion. All right, and then we're turning it around and we're just drying it off the same way. Circle motion, you're not pushing too hard on that laser, you're just lightly cleaning it. And you should see a difference. Before it was just a little bit cloudy, and now it's really, really shiny on the top there. So other than that, let's pop in the new dish tray, and then we'll go ahead and test and see where we're at. So let's do that now. Keep in mind when we pulled it out, actually we'll bend this into place too. This looks like it just got bent a little out of place there. Let's try to put a little. Let's take this out actually real quick, and we'll just get it back into place. To be 100% honest, I'm not exactly sure what this piece does. All right. You can see it there. It looks like it's hitting something. Let's see if you can get a good look at this. It was a little out of whack, so I'm gonna try to just hand bend it right back into place, just so it's a little bit more flat than it was. Yeah, it's not 100%, but it's back to looking pretty normal here. This is it right here. All right, and then like I was saying before, so what you really want to do is, since we know how we took it off with it completely closed, so you're going to want to put it back on the same way. So you'll slide this back in. all the way to the back there. Make a connection. No, I'm not on. Hold on. There we go. Now, that's it right there. Put that. And I just want to see if my door opens, so we'll obviously open it back up and just grease it. But I just want to see where we're at. Still catching, so we got to figure out where it's catching at. Okay, it actually looks like this piece right here, so that's the issue. So let's try, go ahead and just power down. Let me just get the door halfway out. There we go. And I have a spare piece. That's why it's good to keep everything, because I know that this drive was damaged, but we could still use parts off of it, which is awesome. Because that's exactly what we need now. We just need this piece and that's it. All right. So this is obviously the damaged one, and then here's the good one. So yeah, it's got quite a bit of more bend to it. And it's actually cracked right here. So that's maybe what was causing the issue. Let's go ahead and put this guy back in here, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's go ahead and give this another try. We'll obviously need power, so let's plug that in. Yeah. Still having trouble. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna power it off. I'm gonna pull this guy off. All right, so we just had to seat it right where it needed to go. I went about halfway in, and then that's where I could see it, because the whole mechanism, once it's a fluid motion of ejecting, and then as this is moving, that's moving the laser down so that it clears this area. So now we got it. I'm gonna go ahead and power off real quick in this state. I'm gonna tack it into place here with our screws, and then we're gonna grease up these rails before we get too ahead of ourselves. Just use some white lithium here. Not too much, just a little bit. You don't want to go too crazy with it. I always hate the idea of having too much, like if you goop it on, I don't know how realistic this is, but I have this this vision of this, you know, the laser spinning up and then all of a sudden kicking all this grease, and then it gets all over the laser while you're trying to play it. All right, and that should do it there. You can go crazy. You can start greasing up all the sides, anything you want. It seemed like it was working pretty fluidly, so that's good news. I'm gonna put this back on, and I'm only gonna put 2 screws into it. All right, let's test some discs. Let's see what we got going on here. The other thing that I didn't mention is we actually saw when I was going through that the laser was emitting light, so we know that it's actually possible that it's still working perfectly fine. So You can hear it. Sounds normal. Cool. And it is. Awesome. So PlayStation 1 discs, those are good. So we won't have to adjust the CD laser at least. We know that. PlayStation 2 disc. Sounds normal as well. And there it goes. Awesome. That was super simple. That was really a lot easier than I thought it would be. Now it's just going to need a full cleaning, so we'll go ahead and do that. But other than that, I mean, it's running perfectly fine now. So the door is good, and we got a new one on there. If you're having this similar issue, then you're going to want to also check that metal piece. I've never actually seen that busted, so I'm not sure how that got busted, but it did, and that's what was causing it not to be able to open and eject correctly. And then we had to kind of guess on where to put that disc tray to get it in the right, seated correctly, so we could get it open and closed correctly. And once we did that, everything worked out perfectly fine. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, one last thing, sorry, before we finish. Let's try one more disc. I always try the blue PS2 discs as well, because it's possible that the PS2 regular discs won't work, or excuse me, will work, and then the blue ones won't. So I'll give that a try as well, just to make sure. All right, and it looks like the blue discs are working as well, so that's good news. So we got lucky on this one. This one's super simple. Not that the PS2s are actually worth a ton of money, but it's worth giving it a try. So, and these are decent. Some people prefer the fat PS2s to the slim ones because they say that the PS1 emulation, or not emulation, but backwards compatibility is a little bit better. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I haven't really seen any difference, but who knows? Well, cool. Well, thanks for joining me for another Fix It Friday. I try to do these every Friday. Sometimes I miss them, sometimes I make them, but yeah. If you haven't checked out any of my other videos, go for it. And if you haven't subscribed, go for it as well. I really appreciate that. So yeah, we shall catch you guys in the next one. All right, and before we go, actually, I just want to give you one final shot of it all cleaned up here. We got everything all done. Got the interior here cleaned, and then all the front panel here. As well as, you really want to concentrate on the back. Make sure you get the fan all done, as well as the interior, and then I cleaned the actual multi-port out. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.